ऐसा लगता है मैम कितना परेशान है उससे.
Yeah, it started.
Recording started, huh? Yeah. Very warm good evening to each and everyone, and thank you very much for joining us on fifth episode of the Nurse Talk Show, the You Nurse Talk Show. As we always start with our aim and objective, this talk show is all about that we really wanted to want to work on ourselves, and we really want to transform ourselves, so therefore we can transform our system. And another objective of this whole chat show, we really want to celebrate the the Indian Nightingale. And when you see the you on this talk show, you will come to know that you stand for the one of the one of our favorite and one of many nursing nightingales of India, that's Uma Hada ma'am. So with that note, I would like to start today's topic, and the concept of the week is self-empowerment. So before taking much of your time, I really wanted to go, and I request my team, please introduce yourself. Yes, Dolma. Dolma, unmute yourself.
Yeah, I have done it. Hello, everyone. So I am Dolma. I am a nurse. And as today's topic is self-empowerment, I empower myself by having only one funda in my life. So when you have that funda, like you have acceptance of everything. Like be it if someone is asking for help, you do as much as you can. So you won't say no here. And wherever there is any extra responsibilities in your clinical area or wherever you are working, then it gives you lots of learning. It gives you lots of learning which empower you. So my only one-liner for today's topic is never say no attitude. Thank you so much.
So that's your empowerment towards yourself. You just empower yourself to say yes to everything, and that is how you're learning a lot. Thank you very much,
Yes.
Alma. Yeah, Geeta, over to you.
Yes, good evening, everybody. I'm Geeta. I'm emergency nurse. I empower myself, but many people say this is my job, this is doctor job, this is ward boy job, this is nursing job. No, I'm doing everything which related to my patient for its care. So I'm doing everything for my patient care, to save his life, to give his right care. So I'm doing everything for my patient.
Thank you very much, Geeta.
Like I'm doing, I know how to do intubation. I know how to do ultrasound, emergency ultrasound. I'm doing cannulation. If the doctor is not there, I can also do CPR. So I can do everything for my patient. That is my empowerment.
So you empower yourself so many nursing skills, which is actually nurses are not doing and waiting for the prescription.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Geeta. Yeah, over to Uma, ma'am.
Yes, I'm, I feel that I'm empowered because I know all my weaknesses and my strengths, and I use them, when I know that I've done something wrong, I see that I make another decision, and not if my decision is not correct, but I always like to take my own decision and stand by it. Be committed to it, and always take the accountability and responsibility for what decision I make. Thank you.
Great. Thank you very much, Uma, ma'am. And Sri Devi, ma'am. Or she's a master of today, so I really don't want to spend much of her time. So, ma'am, I'll take your introduction once you will start as a master. So, yeah, thank you very much. And let's, Geeta, I request, please mute everyone except me. Yeah. So self-empowerment, when I was taking this, term, and I found that this was, and it is clearly mentioned in the literature that this is the most used, most misused, and most abused terminology in last 1 century. People keep it empowerment. It is very closely related to the structural empowerment, and people call it as a social empowerment, but people don't know that empowerment itself a deep meaning term with so many processes embedded in this word only. So I just try to just break this word because it's actually very difficult to understand. You know, we have been using it. Nurses should be empowered, women should be empowered, but just using this terminology doesn't mean that we will be empowered. And I'm so sorry, as usual, I forgot. I just wanted to know which language will be okay for all. Just launch this poll and please answer. You will be having 20 seconds to answer this poll. Yeah, because of lately we are having so many people from the other states, and I'm getting every time a request. Even I got a request to start the show in a regional language. Yeah, thank you very much. So I'm just informing the master to use, and the question should be asked in mixed or Hindi English both. So, you know, when I actually try to dissect this powerful term, you know, this empowerment, M stand for a measurable unit. You know, if you really wanted to measure something, so M stand for the unit. Power we all know, you know, and meant is the result of that action. So if you want to be empowered, so first of all, you have to put, you know, extra efforts. You have to put extra power to get that desired result. It means that empowerment is nothing like somebody will be coming to you and authorized you or giving you a power. Okay, you can take this decision. This is not empowerment. Empowerment, you should know your goal. Empowerment is something else than this one. And with that note, I really wanted to start a small poll over here. And really wanted to know, what do you understand by empowerment? Sorry, most of the thing I have already spoken, though Sridevi ma'am asked me not to do so. Yeah. Everybody can see. Yeah, you will be having 20 seconds to answer this poll. I'll be sharing the result after that. Yeah. I request everyone to please answer this poll. You will be enjoying this, and that is how we make it interactive actually. Thank you very much. So most of the people believe that empowerment is a personal development, and only 20% believe it's a being promoted at work. But let me tell you what is empowerment. Empowerment is taking control of your own life. You know, it's nothing like, you know, people are giving you authority. Empowerment is something different. And if we'll think, as I told you, empowerment means you have to give a miserable amount of force into your life to get that desired result. And I'm here to confuse you with this terminology, and we'll be having master who will simplify it and connect this term to the nursing. Well, I think about the empowerment, I think about the early man. Early man decided कि उसको सिर्फ accidentally भुना हुआ meat नहीं खाना. He wanted to learn how to ignite fire so that he can control on his life, he can control on the food. And if I think about the empowerment, so empowerment is a term of the ancient ages. If I think about the empowerment, I think about the Lakshmi Bai, who decided why women doesn't go on the war front. And she wanted to skill herself. वो रणभूमि शिक्षा में निपुण होना चाहती थी. And that is what results her. And that is why we all remember her. There's so many ladies in the current time also. Like take an example of Aishwarya Rai. Aishwarya Rai is another empowered woman who actually made the eye donation campaign a household campaign. You know, she started the eye donation campaign when nobody knows about the organ donation, and now it is a common, you know, thing. And so many people actually opted eye donation after she started that campaign. So with that note, I really request our today's master, the master with the courage, the master with the so much positive energy, and master with the vibrant energy around her. And she is having the power to motivate everyone. And nobody can else, take this topic so nicely than her. And I hope I have made you enough confused about this terminology. And now our master will make it simplify for you. So over to you, Shri ma'am. Thank you very much.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Rupa, and I'm sure all of you know me. I'm Sri Devi, and I am 21 with 35 years of experience. So that's where we start. This topic of जो self empowerment topic है, let me start in Hindi by saying simply empowerment हिंदी में इसका मतलब है सशक्तिकरण. Sashakti means, Sa means self, Shakti means power, and Karan means giving yourself. So, empowerment basically means giving power to yourself. And so this big word, it is sounding very bad. Self-empowerment in English means just simply taking control of your life. This lady called Eleanor Roosevelt had this very beautiful saying, and it is actually, this is the starting line, I should say. No one can make you feel inferior without your consent. And this is similar to what Ratna Prakash ma'am said last week. Yani, if we feel inferior, it is because we allow others to make us feel inferior. So my job is actually to tell you a story on self-empowerment. So I'm going to tell you of my own self. At age 21, I graduated with BSN. 2 years I worked in college because एक साल मुझे scholarship मिला. Then एक और साल मैंने सोचा चलो let me work in college because I wanted to do MSc immediately after 2 years. उस जमाने में 2 साल के बाद ही MSc कर सकते थे. So look at the goal. I had a goal. So 2 years after BSN, I worked in college. Immediately I joined MSN. 2 years later, in 1988, MSN khatam ho gaya. And here I'm standing. College wale ne bola, why don't you join college? And I said, no, I'm not joining. Thoda sa to maine pehle hi bola tha. Those of you missed it. I decided to get out of the college because 8 saal in college was enough. I had to find a job for myself. So I went out, and most importantly, I wanted to empower myself, or I wanted to make sure that I have clinical skills, because as all of you all know, sabko pata hai, student, as a student, we know things, but we never get to practice them. Then sikhane jayenge to bhi we are not very good. So all this was in my head. MSc kiya, yeah, I learned something because my cardiovascular, my specialization is cardiovascular nursing. I saw some things, but you know how they don't allow students to do too much in the intensive care unit, whether you're BSc or MSc. So I got out and decided that I needed clinical experience. Tabhi Hinduja just was opened. Hinduja hospital tabhi naya hospital tha, and it was full of Americans in the hospital. And I'm from Bombay, so it was a good chance to go and see a private hospital. So jaisa maine bola tha, my parents are from government sector. So for somehow, because they were in government sector, I had an allergy to government sector, because मुझे ऐसा लग रहा था कि government में, like my parents, poor things, they used to work in railway. They used to struggle, somehow go to work, come back from work, but means they struggled with everything, and I felt I don't want a life like this. That was my decision. It can have its pros and cons. We are not discussing that. So I felt no, मैं government में नहीं काम करूँगी. I will work private. So Hinduja was opened. And why I wanted to go to Hinduja, because when I was in BSN, I used to read journals from college, from university, American Journal of Nursing, Nursing Times. ये तभी का बहुत popular journals हुआ करते थे. And I used to be fascinated with the kind of things nurses did. And I'm looking around and saying, oh my God, here in where I am working or around me in the public hospitals, I don't see anything close to this. What is coming out of these journals, and I should read them and think, oh my God, nursing is so great in other places. So this is what made me go to Hinduja Hospital, and the objective that I needed to have good clinical skills. So being the smart girl that I am, or I was at that point of time, I went to Hinduja Hospital and had an interview, and they offered me a job of clinical specialist. तभी वो पोस्ट पोजीशन हुआ करता था, क्लिनिकल स्पेशलिस्ट इन द इंटेंसिव केयर यूनिट, बिकॉज आई हैड एन MSN विद कार्डियोवास्कुलर नर्सिंग. तो इसमें मैंने पहले ही वो डायरेक्टर नर्सिंग मैडम कौन था, आई एम थिंकिंग मैडम चांडी था कि कोई तो था उधर और समथिंग लाइक दैट. सो आई पहले से मैंने रिक्वेस्ट किया, मुझे 3 महीने के लिए किसी से कहना नहीं कि मैं MSc नर्स हूँ, जस्ट पुट मी इन द इंटेंसिव केयर यूनिट or in a ward and I will start as a staff nurse. So she was very sweet, she agreed, and I started as a staff nurse under one of my students. Jayashri karke ek student thi, she was, main MSc karte tak she already had 3 or 4 years of experience in Hindujas, and she was my head nurse. And I started working as staff nurse in the ward, and after 1 month of working in the ward, because morning, evening, night, then they put me into intensive care. उधर भी मैंने स्टाफ नर्स का काम किया 2 महीने या 3 महीने, मॉर्निंग इवनिंग नाइट, looking after cardiac surgical patients, the routine thing and everything like flow chart burrow, patient ka what to give bath and give do suction and turn the patient and monitor the patient and report the patient and everything else. So this way it went on, and then I started taking my actual role, which was educating nurses. So the reason for that was that I really wanted to know how nurses function before I can start teaching them. So somehow मेरा हेड में पहले से ही ये था कि I must know everything before I start doing for somebody else. This is probably because of my experience with my teachers or my experience of the lack of experience that I had, or the things that I expected would happen and did not happen. From the negative or the positive. So I worked there actually for 5 years, like I told you all, in Hindujas. And I did so well because I had a lot of opportunities to speak in, I mean, I was lucky. I had a good director administration. I had a good director nursing who always found opportunities to make me stand up and do something according to my talent. And those experiences were amazingly growing, I should say. Yes, I left Hinduja क्योंकि मुझे promotion नहीं मिला तो आसमान नहीं गिर पड़ेगी. That was somebody who told me that. And I said, no, आसमान गिर पड़ेगी. So time to leave, because there was nothing more that I could gain from being there for more than 5 years. Left hospital, and I always wanted to do something. At that age, when I joined Hinduja, I was 25. When I left Hinduja, I was 30. And always during this time, I had this feeling that I was made for something higher in life. And this is the reason why I actually left the job, because it was not exactly not having the promotion. It was actually the feeling that I will not get an opportunity to do something more for myself or for the good of nursing. So I joined my college again. At that time, I had good 5 years clinical experience. So I was teaching medical surgical nursing. I joined in first year nursing. Then I became the coordinator or the in charge for second year, because medical surgical was my specialty. And I kept teaching there. तभी एक poster आया college में about a scholarship called the P. Berry Scholarship for UK. And this scholarship, that was on the notice board. And I saw this and I thought, there is a scholarship for nursing. It was written there that for nurses, doctors, physiotherapists and all that. And there were some conditions given that you have to go to Delhi and you have to attend an interview, etc. Oh, first you have to write an essay. So anyway, nobody told me anything. I looked at that notice and I went and did exactly what had to be done. You had to write an essay. Tabhi email वगैरह नहीं था, phone or email नहीं था. Everything was by letter and everything. So I wrote that essay, why I want a scholarship. And then I got an interview call.
Sorry, I am interrupting you. You have to be a bit fast forward, because we really wanted to listen.
The story.
At very young, when you started 36
fine.
and director, please, ma'am.
Okay, fine. So I had, so this was improving my skills. By the way, the story was that I still knew that there was better things to do in cardiovascular nursing, and I wanted to go to UK. So I landed up in UK. I finished 1 year. I was a registered nurse. I came back and joined college again. And there came after, this was again 5 years. It took 5 years. 4 साल college में काम किया. 1 year I went to UK and came back. And right in the middle of that, in Bombay, I get a call. Sridevi, this was the ex-director of administration from Hinduja. Now he was in Manipal. He had gone to US. come back to Manipal, and he calls me and says, Sridevi, there is a position in Manipal for director nursing. Would you be interested? And here is me, who has clinical experience and teaching experience, and a goal that, oh, I need to do something. I'm made for something bigger, and I need to do something. And he found my phone number and called me home on my landline. And I said, yes, I will come for the interview. He said, don't worry, you can stay in my house. He was a very friendly person. And attend the interview. You will have to meet 3 or 4 people in 2 days for interview, etc., etc. So I went to Manipal, and I had to meet Dr. Ramdas Pai. I had to meet Devi Shetty. I had to meet 3, 4 other people. And they all asked me some questions. And so I finished the interview, and I came back home because my daughter was only 9, and I cannot leave her for many days and go. Then I get a call saying that I have been selected to be the director of nursing. And there were other contestants, or there were other 2, 3 people who were senior. And however, everybody unanimously chose me. And lo, I get a job of the director of nursing. And at the same time, I had one more job that is in Muscat in Sultan Qaboos University, because I had come back from UK. I was in high demand because you definitely with 1 year experience have a lot of things to get. So I had this job in Sultan Qaboos University, and much more paying. It was like, that was paying 1 lakh, and this was paying some 16 or 17,000 at that time. I consciously decided that I will stick with my opportunity to change the direction in nursing rather than go and work under somebody in a clinical area. There was also one more reason. I did not want to pay 1 lakh rupees as agency fees, which meant like the agency is actually squeezing nurses. And I hate this idea of nurses being taken advantage of. So I didn't want to pay that 1 lakh. I didn't take that job, but I had 2 jobs with me. Went straight to Bangalore. I had to shift my daughter, my house, etc., etc. So I went to this job, and this is the first time at 36, I was director nursing, and I land up with, and this was my dream job, honestly. And the goal that I had kept in mind, and the amount of skills, like I had clinical experience. What allowed me to take this job very boldly? I had good clinical experience. I knew what is nursing. I have a good teaching experience. So I know that I have the skill to communicate. And what else do I need? I need to know. I didn't have administrative experience, but that's something that I would get along the way. But I believed in myself. And that belief in myself was more than enough to see through 6 years of being in that job and achieving great results. So my message in this is that, and I really enjoyed being there. Then after 6 years, after some time, every job, it loses its sheen, because you become alone on top, and then there was something missing, and then I had to move on. That is how it happens. Everywhere you reach a maximum of your job, and then you need to move on. So just to give you a quick idea that I had a goal, I was having all the knowledge that I need. I built up on my knowledge. I believed in myself. I worked on my skill. And when I was working as director nursing, I realized 1 or 2 more things I had to do. I did a course on finance for non-finance executives. This is an online course from IIT Delhi. Why? Because in the board level, you really need to know your finance, and no nursing teaches you finance. The other course that I did while I was in Manipal as director nursing, I have a PG diploma in medical law and ethics from National Law School, Bangalore. Why? Because it's a private hospital, Bangalore, don't be confused, it's not Mangalore. Bangalore private hospital, and we get medical legal cases, and nurses could be a reason for medical legal cases, and I needed to keep on top of things. So you need to, nobody told me to do all this. This was from my own money and from my own time. Sunday was the class in National Law School. So you work till Saturday, and Sunday you go to the class. That's how it is. And you keep taking, I used to just keep taking small actions. I changed the uniform. There was no patient ID. I put patient ID. The trolleys were not having safety belts. There were no infection control department. All those kind of, so each action that I took, some of them may not have been success, but when I look back, I feel every little thing I did, because I took them gradually and slowly. I assessed my impact, and I found that I was able to make change. Like nurses really Those who were reading Malayalam magazines in the end landed up in UK because they had certificates of continuing education. They were always up to the mark. They had references which were good. So I was able to help so many nurses in my position of being director nursing. I was not very easy, but I was not harsh. It was very interesting. I used to have a deputy. So we have a bad cup and a good cup. So I was a good cup, and my deputy was happy to be the bad cup. She would give them a good shout, then I would not, I would just change the whole thing. If they took a leave or I will say, if you were not important, why would I employ you? So if you remain absent, how can I manage without you? So good, this is the work. So because the bad cup means Daphne would give them good, left, right, and center. Then I will tell them, if you were not important, I would have not employed you in the first place. So every single one of you are important to me. Similarly, if they made mistakes, I told you already, I would just give them an assignment and say, okay, for the next continuing education class, you explain why needle stick injuries are, how needle stick injuries occur. Yes, Prema is asking, did nurses under you accept the change? I will let Rupa, will you take the questions or should I take the questions? So she's asking one question. I will answer that beautifully because it was very slow. For example, the first thing I did, I told you, was I helped them to take away non-nursing duties. So wow, here they were happy. They didn't have to look after linen. They didn't have to collect blood. They had to focus on their patient care. That was the first thing I did. Second thing, if I remember correctly, was a uniform, like this dirty cap and long saris. And I said, how will you do CPR? How will you look professional? I did not force the uniform on everybody because there were people who were fat and who said, oh, we will not look nice in shirt and pant. I said, fine, you take your time. In the meanwhile, many youngsters actually started wearing uniform and everybody started saying, wow. So the others, I told them, this is a good chance for you to get fit. So if you're feeling that you are fat, you do something about it. When you're ready, you can change into trouser and shirt, trouser and pant. And it took time. It was like each of this was running simultaneously. 6 months, 1 year. It also took me time to get all the 6 nursing uniforms into one uniform because there were 6 kind of uniforms in one hospital. And I had to get all of them together. I had to put everybody in, like, for an interview, it was not like, I like your beautiful face, so I will take you for a job. No, you have to write a test. You have to answer our interview. You must bring a letter from any nurse. It doesn't matter, even if it's 1 year older than you. A senior nurse who tells that you know nursing, and don't bring me doctor's letters. So those kind of little things, when it kept going, and I kept my head nurses with me. So it was amazing how the head nurses slowly took the change. I told them you have to give holiday and off. So that's this way it went, because there were a lot of good things that nurses were receiving. So slowly they started accepting change. I made my administration spend money on their hostel, give them curtains, give them beds, not live in bunk beds, give them cupboards. So it took a lot of head.
Yeah. And ma'am, thank you very much for the lovely story. And we are really, mesmerized that how you empower yourself, because, everybody would be agree with me that when you are on a higher position, I have, heard so many times from so many seniors that, ab to hum is position pe pahunch chuke, ab kya padna? So the best part of your story is you keep adding, in your education and keep adding in your knowledge. I should use it as a knowledge. One thing here I wanted to clear everybody, self-empowerment is something which is a social term. So at the end of that self-empowerment, the impact should be on the larger front. So, you can see that she was empowering herself. But have you seen the impact? Impact was on the each and every nurse. Impact was on hospital, and impact on her friends who are having the similar position in this other's hospital. Because what Sridevi ma'am is talking right now is a common culture in all the corporate hospital. So I will not feel shy and say that probably she was the one of those leader who actually thought about that and gave that reputation to the nurses in corporate. Yeah. And a very beautiful question. What was source of your inspiration to fly high, ma'am?
Okay. When the source of inspiration, when you say, okay, I have to mention one thing here, that is Miss Abanti. Miss Abanti,
Yes, sir.
when I was teaching in college, I had to take MSc students to BM Birla, Calcutta, and I saw Miss Abanti as director of nursing on the in the floor. She's still around, and she's such a great role model. And she used to work for the nurses. And when I was teaching, I mean, I was with the MSN students, but I have seen how good she was in influencing nurses to make changes. And this was something that I am uh, very, I should say, she influenced me a lot. Then the exposure in UK, like no, one of the first days that I went to UK, the first thing that I heard them telling is, if you don't change yourself, others will change you. This is the first day in UK when I went, one nurse told me, if you don't change yourself, others will change you. So you decide to change yourself, which is a better way to do things. So, and plus that feeling that I have to do something better. This nursing in India cannot be, nurses cannot be, taken for granted. Nurses are capable. The belief that we will be able to do better patient care. Milan, I was in Manipal, Bangalore from 1998 to 2004. Not in Bangalore. This is a private hospital. Yes. So does that answer? So for my philosophy basically was, if I take care of my nurses, this is another thing I want to say. I don't know whether I told this before. If you care for your nurses will care for your patients. This is without doubt. So if you are on the top position, your responsibility is to look after your nurses, and you will see amazing magic happening at the patient side. So this I have no doubt at all. And that's what I did.
With keeping an eye on the time, so we have to be,
Yeah.
should not cross our
Give them
time
questions,
limit.
yeah.
So yeah. So now we are going to take the question which is given by our guest, and thank you very much all the guests for taking active interest in that. And I request all the guests, please keep writing to us and keep sending your question pertaining to the concept of this week. So in India, dual role is not existing. Have you implemented dual role in your organization? Or
Okay.
if not organization, do you recommend this dual role? What is your reflection on that?
Oh, this is even now being, this is even now, even in our university here is being discussed. Dual role is actually in India only in two institutions, as all of you probably know. It's in CMC Vellore, and also St. John's Bangalore has done this. Now, dual role is absolutely fantastic, but it has a lot of practical implications. Like I'm working here, and they were trying to implement dual role even here, but it hasn't taken off. Since 16 years we were discussing this, because people are, it is the attitude of people. For example, I am 35 years experience. Dual role for me may be, okay, I will go and teach, I will do one day clinical duty, staff nurses duty in critical care, and one of the MSNs from critical care unit can come and teach instead of me. This could be as simple as that. Or I could be the clinical nurse educator in the critical care unit of my hospital for one day a week, 4 days I teach. But these things require much more faculty, a large number of faculty, and large number of, and then, the position has to be very clearly on administrative paper. People are looking for money. This is a sad thing. I mean, if I work in the clinical, I'm expecting additional money to my regular job. This is not, I'm not talking of myself, but people were asking for extra money either way. So dual role is a fantastic thing if the faculty are experienced and there is adequate number of faculty to look after the students and be working in the clinical area. There's nothing like it. Honestly, every faculty should do at least one clinical day a week, even if you have PhD. Because this is how America works. In America, PhD people also have to keep their clinical active by working one day in 2 weeks or 2 days in a week or anything that they can do. They should be on the floor. Does that answer? You're mute. Rupa, you're mute.
Thank you very much, ma'am. I keep myself muted.
Yeah.
Yeah. So with that, thank you very much, ma'am, for the lovely answer. Now I am just launching a poll so that we can understand this concept a little bit more. Yeah. So everybody will be having 30 seconds to answer that. Please have a keen eye on your screen and please answer. Everybody can see that? Yeah, it's visible because I started getting answers. Yeah, and I would take 2 minutes to discuss about these questions. Yes, keep writing, keep writing. 10 seconds more to go. Yeah, thank you very much. And here I'm ending the poll and sharing the result with you all. Yes. So as we can see, self-empowerment. We're talking about the self-empowerment, and self-empowerment is something intrinsic. Well, let me tell you, empowerment can be both type. It can be intrinsic, it can be extrinsic. So, you know, when organization give you the authority, organization give you the privilege to work on particular position, then you started getting the extrinsic type of empowerment. But you cannot work without having the intrinsic type of empowerment, and that is all motivational and how you are driving your own life. A successful person in their personal life is always a successful person in the professional life and the social ground also. Another question, it is important to identify own strength and weakness. Absolutely right. You know, you have to decide your goal. As we can see in the mom's story, that she was very clear at the age of 25 that when where she would be when she will be at that particular age. And when she was at 36, when she was the director of an organization, she was thinking that what she should do to empower herself so that she should not feel let down when she was sitting in the boardroom, because it happens many times. You know, you feel isolated when you are not having knowledge pertaining to that particular subject. So nobody stop you to get empowered through knowledge. But when you are getting confused with the knowledge, with the power, then there is a slight conflict with the empowerment term. So yes, and last but not the least, developing self-empowerment involve making some fundamental changes in the life, such as attitude change, value and belief. Definitely, if she really wanted to be in her comfort zone, if she really wanted to be in a complacent zone, she would not be able to reach, and she will not be talking to us as a master, you know. So this is very important, that keep striving and change your attitude, be positive, be open to learning, and that's all. Yeah, with that I would like to take the another question, ma'am.
Sure.
Yeah. So how one can empower themselves, ma'am?
Okay.
How to become
Now,
self-empowered, basically?
yeah. How to become self-empowered? Basically, one thing is self-awareness. We have already discussed. I'm not going to say like what is my strength, what is my weakness. If I did not have, so if I don't have clinical ability, and I still believe in that line, like when I became director nursing, and I used to give orientation, and I used to talk to them that giving a bath is not below dignity. If you don't know how to give a bath, call me and I will do half with you. And I knew how to do a bath. So that was the courage that gave me this feeling that I can tell my nurses that if giving a bath or doing a dressing or doing a suctioning, because we used to get nurses who never have done suction in their life, I used to have to employ, because somebody I must employ when I'm interviewing nurses. And not being shy, I used to tell them not to be shy to tell that I don't know something. I always, this is self-awareness, I'm talking in the same part. That means, if I let my staff nurse say I don't know, how many times will she say that? Only once. Because when she says once I don't know how to suction, I make an arrangement to get her to learn something, then she cannot say another time I don't know. So it's very important for all of us not in the self of I don't know. So if there is a weakness to ourselves, we can say, I don't, maybe I will be in trouble if I don't know the legal aspects. So where can I learn legal aspects? Maybe I will not, I'll look like a fool when they discuss the budget. So how do I make myself capable of doing that? So I must learn some finance because that's something. So I search and look for things which I identify as a weakness. I know strength. I know I have skills. I know I have a talking ability. So you always need to know your, so self-awareness is an extremely important thing. And in the beginning of the poll, many people said personal development is self-empowerment. Personal development is one of the aspects of self-empowerment. Without personal development, actually, you cannot be empowered, but development is actually under, like personal empowerment is one more degree higher than personal development. Education, experience, knowledge, skill, all these are added together, like in continuation of Ratna Prakash ma'am's thing, all this put together with that idea that I take control of my life. Or in this can be, by the way, this empowerment is not about job. You can, if you want to influence your colleagues, like in a nurses union, or you want to get nurses together, you want to do something in your family, you want to influence where people should go for vacation, you need to be aware of everybody in your family, what are their likes and dislikes. So being aware of it, being accepting that, having developed some of these skills of, you need to develop skills to talk and to understand people.
Yes.
One more word that I'm going to put, self-efficacy. Self-efficacy simply means believing in yourself, that you know where you want to be. If it's an organization, smartly understand the politics. That means where does things work? Whom can you influence to make things work? Because our objective is to make things work, not to actually get involved in the politics. But if you want to make a change, and XYZ person is one person who can make that change, we need to identify that XYZ person. Action, action, action. We must not be afraid. We will get knocked down. Hindi mein bolega to means I'm trying to do something in Hindi. I can't tell everything. We will fall. Hum log gir jayenge. But when we fall, then we get back, and then we, resilience को हिंदी में क्या बोलते हैं? Persistence, resilience, यानी बॉल की तरह, रबर बॉल की तरह, बॉल will hit the ground.
प्रयत्न करते रहिए, लगातार अपने प्रयत्न करते रहिए.
नहीं, बॉल ग्राउंड पे हिट होगा, रबर बॉल. लेकिन अगर रबर बॉल का प्रॉपर्टी क्या है, वो बॉल फ्लोर पे हिट करने के बाद इक्वली और हायर लेवल पे रिटर्न करते हैं. That's called resilience. A classical example of resilience is the rubber ball comes higher than where it started. So being resilient, persistence, like, no, I must achieve that outcome. I must reach. So this is where people get stuck. We get bored very easily.
Ma'am, I know you can speak hours and hours on the beautiful words, but we are having another question. I'm sorry, I'm interrupting.
Yes, sure. No, I'm saying I gave the answer. No, I'm okay. I'm giving the answer. Like, these are things we can do. That's it. Bolo.
No, I'm sorry, ma'am. Even I was actually enjoying when you are speaking. Is empowerment is the leadership quality?
Yeah, that's what it is. It is actually, if leadership in nursing is empowered, like all that, I feel sad even now in India. Like, I think in corporate hospitals they're better off, but even government hospitals, I don't understand. If everybody just took control of their own life, this will be a beautiful leadership quality that can actually help out the nurses working under us. You will see happy nurses. The objective of being empowered as a leader should be, my nurses must be happy. Because my nurses must be happy, basically results in my patients will receive good care. I don't have to tell it, because as a leader, I'm only making sure that my nurses are there to look after my patients. So it's a beautiful thing if leaders could have self-empowerment. But nobody thinks about this topic. That's the sad thing. Nobody takes control of it. सबको बाकी लोगों का सुनना है, मेडिकल सुपरिटेंडेंट का सुनना है, इसका सुनना है, उसका सुनना है, और अपना 8 घंटा करो, कमाओ जाओ. Passion किधर है to do that?
I keep saying that, the head of the ideal leader leader is the person who always stand behind and support the, other subordinate and the staff, rather than leading the troop in from the front. So leader is always on your back, who's keep you, pushing you to, just push your limit. And at best, leader is the one who keep telling you your limits, who keep telling you not your limit is sky's the limit, keep doing things, and I actually learned so many good things, the leaders like you, that director used to feel that I'm a mother of all these nurses. She is there to look after my patient, and I'm there to look after her from head to toe, from the family to the personal to the social, every aspect. They were very keenly look after their nurses, and that is how those nurses are giving the good care to their patient. So here I wanted to flag one point. Don't think that you have to go on that particular position to work for your nurses.
Not
You
necessary.
are having, you are having, your subordinates, you are having your juniors. Nobody stop you to be leader from the back. Please support them, because they need your support. Tell your seniors that, what is the leadership, because everybody is ready to learn. If they are not learning, that's losing, that, they are the loser, you are not at all loser. So another question is self empowerment useful in every aspect of life, personal, professional, and social?
Yeah. So this is where I came with that little example to tell you. At home, we all like, I'm going to excuse the men from this because majority are women, just to say we all like to be queens of our house. Men, you should know this, if you want to keep your wife happy, that every woman likes to be the queen of her house. Okay. So when you say social, it is definitely when you want to interact with people every day in life, even if it's your neighbors, this is a very good thing. Like, if somebody is going to come and push things over you, you do not want them to happen. Don't say, oh, वो क्या सोचेगा, अगर मैं ना बोलूं तो वो क्या सोचेगा. अगर मुझे दोपहर को 1 घंटा सोना है, तो मुझे मेरी नेबर आने का no permission, because I cannot make, then I shouldn't complain. अरे मुझे 1 घंटा सोना था और उन लोग आके 2 घंटा बात करते चले गए, मेरा पूरा दिन खराब हो गया. Who allowed this? So no complaining. Actually, you cannot complain, because every complaint is something that you allowed for yourself to happen. Agar you need to take control of your life and say, yes, occasionally things happen. I'm not talking so strictly, but self easily you can do. Agar chutti pe jana hai, agar vacation plan karna hai, you want to convince your family that one thing that I'm cooking today is the food that is available, everybody must eat happily. You still can do this using self empowerment. If you use this among your colleagues without position, there is a question there. If you're a staff nurse and you want to influence your colleagues into doing better care, and or maybe even talking about a policy change in your unit, and you have to take this to your head nurse, and your head nurse is probably not going to listen, and half your staff nurses or friends are not bothered. अगर आपको उनको सब इन्फ्लुएंस करके एकजुट होके आपको आपका हेड नर्स के पास या आपका मेट्रन के पास या जिसके पास भी जाना है, you really need to have this quality of self empowerment. Job pe, you don't have to always have position. That's why I told you my story. When I was 25, I started my first job as a clinical specialist. That was not a big position. Yes, I had some teaching for staff nurses, continuing education. That way I was able to influence the staff nurses, क्योंकि मुझे CVP पढ़ाना था, CPR पढ़ाना था, hand wash, hand hygiene. तब का जमाने में मैं माइक्रोबायोलॉजी ब्रॉथ में हैंड का छापा लगा के, आफ्टर हैंड वॉश छापा लगा के, I used to teach, see if washing hands, whether organisms are there or not. So that was all my own brain idea. So I had influence over nurses, but I kept working hard. It did not mean that मुझे position नहीं मिला, मुझे हिंदुजा छोड़ना पड़ा. मुझे फिर क्या मिला? Lecturer job. You will laugh if you hear. I used to work on a SC/ST position every year. I had 5 masters. I had my own teachers used to interview me. परमानेंट पोजीशन नहीं था. हर साल मुझे SC/ST का पोजीशन पे 7,000 रुपए का सैलरी पे, उसका अलावेंस अरियर्स अभी तक नहीं मिला. God knows what it is. I used to go and interview myself. I used to think, oh my God, how many years am I going to keep doing this? Then I went to UK and came. Same thing kept happening, but I never gave up, because see, after that, while I was doing my lecturer's job, here comes the director nursing job as well as a musket job. I just keep doing my I mean, I went to UK and came. Yes, that was, see, that reminds me to tell you one more thing. That required sacrifice, right? That required change in attitude. My daughter was 7 years old when I got this scholarship for UK. 7 years old. Okay. And I had this big dilemma in my head. 1 year, I have to leave this little child and go. Should I? Should I not? Then I thought, if I don't go, if I don't take this opportunity, this is not going to come back. The only good backup that I had, and you have to give me credit, was my mother-in-law and father-in-law. They were at home with me. They said, you go, we will look after her. And why you have to give me credit is for the relationship I maintained.
Yeah.
Correct? If I
Totally
did
agree.
not maintain that fantastic relationship with them, will they ever tell me, you go and we will look after for 1 year? And my mother-in-law ran around with her for dance class, this, that. When I came back, my neighbor said, Bapre, your mother-in-law was running around with the kid more than you would have done. So it's like, so that required a lot of investment.
Yeah.
It was a big investment in relationship. And I really am thankful because I never regretted. So what used to happen is sometimes, khana acha nahi banta hai, or it's not something that I liked. But shut my mouth and eat. Why? Because I always was in my heart thinking, maine to kaam nahi kiya. Without doing work, I am getting food to eat. What does it matter? Whether it was something that I did not want to eat. Every day, I still remember this thing. But that worked magic for me. I could go 1 year in peace to UK and come back. And that gave my experiences such a big boost.
Yeah.
So if you look at attitude, value, this is important.
That's how it is hence proved that self-empowerment actually work on your personal and home front also. So ladies and gentlemen, please keep that point in notebook. So there's another question, and this must be a question in the heart of every clinical nurse: how a nurse can be empowered in clinical area?
Okay. So this is, you're coming back to the same thing. Like when you say empowered in clinical area, knowledge to hona hi chahiye. Last time also we said, if I'm a BSN nurse or whatever qualifications I have, do I have all the qualities of a nurse? Communication, competence. Do I know in the area that I work? I cannot know everything. Agar main ER mein hai, so do I know everything in the ER? From the defibrillation to crash cart to CPR to suction to airway management? I don't expect them to know bed bath because they may not need to do bed bath. If I'm in the OT, do I know everything related to operation theater? So having knowledge is important. Then updating our knowledge is important. And confidence be important hai. Agar apne ko baat malum hai, to never hesitate. And many of us are doing this also. And don't forget to be sorry. Agar hum galat hai, this is my habit, and I have won so much with this. Agar maine galti kiya hai and somebody points out, it doesn't hurt my ego at all. I will say, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And if I understand that, for example, now, if any of you are feeling hurt, I'm more than happy to say, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say this. And is there anything I can do to make you feel better? So being able to accept your weakness, it can happen. If you look at my personality, I'm a very dominant type of a person. And I became like this. I was not like this. Over the years, my personality has changed to this kind of a thing. So being aware of these things is and setting goals. Okay, if you're a staff nurse in the clinical area, your goal, kya hai? I should become an MSN. Then you be the staff nurse that you want to be for the time being. Go hunt for a master's degree. If your goal is to become the head nurse, then do some leadership courses, show leadership abilities, show change, show that whatever it takes. There must be a criteria for leadership in your institution. If it is being the best staff nurse that you want to be, just you're happy by yourself. See, it all depends. अपने को क्या करना है? What is our goal? अगर मुझे staff nurse ही रहना है, nothing is wrong with it. I will be the best staff nurse that I can be. वो अपना goal है. तो उसमें अगर do I know everything in the area that I work? So that all depends. Like I had very higher goals. Like I always said, I had higher goals in life. Like I very clearly thought, I'm not going to do this. क्या चल रहा है that I cannot keep accepting somebody sitting on my head. I must liberate nurses. I must get to a position where I can help other nurses. That was the objective, and I got it.
Yeah.
And this is all private. Yeah,
Ma'am,
time.
actually, we really, yeah, time. There's one more question.
No,
How
sure.
to empower self under incompetent manager and senior?
Okay. So see, when you say this is, see, is empowerment extrinsic? Really, no. We are coming to that same answer. If empowerment was extrinsic, then your incompetent manager and your person who's under you, sorry, who's above you can affect you. If because empowerment is taking control of your own life, you probably need to dare. Now, each one situation may be different. Like I said, for me, it was okay. My boss said no promotion for you. I moved. What I mean, you should have the courage. Everything doesn't come in a plate of, we are all not born with a silver spoon in our mouth. Because I moved, nothing went wrong. When I moved from college to director nursing job, how many questions in my head it should be actually. Like मैंने कभी ये job नहीं किया है. अगर मैं doubt अगर करती हूँ, if I'm not going to be successful, मुझे क्या होगा? मेरे को दूसरा job नहीं मिलेगा. No doubts in my head. I said I will make it. Khalas. There was nothing else to look for. So because the control is in me, if I want to be successful, I will be. So does that answer the question? It is not extrinsic. Empowerment is not outside you.
Yeah.
Empowerment is inside you.
Moreover, when you are going to summarize our today's talk, so probably people will be more clear about it. Okay. So Dolma, there's one question, a leader without label. Can you reflect on that, ma'am? So with that, we are going to end the question round, please. I'm so sorry.
Yeah. Super question. Leader without label. When you say, see, leader is my control that I am taking. When you say leader, you want to influence others. Okay. And whether you have a position or no. Let me tell you, currently my position, I was director nursing. I told Rupa the story. For various reasons, I had to come here. For very personal, financial reasons, I had to take. Today, I'm only a lecturer. But if I was in India with 35 years of experience, my position would be professor. Correct? I would be professor in nursing. Junior people with MSN less than me are professors in nursing. Now, does that make me any lesser? Honestly, I can challenge that. If I came to India at my level currently, my designation is lecturer. Whether it is evidence-based practice, whether it is critical thinking, whether it is literature search, whether it is research, whether it is reviewing papers, you take any skill that a teacher or a person at my level should have, doesn't matter to me. Okay, I'm not a professor. My name is not professor. So what? But I'm telling you that I can give anybody run for money or tell them so. Honestly, even though I don't have a label, it doesn't make a difference to me. You look at my face and see, look at my body language, because I have the confidence that I have enough in me to reach a level. Label दूसरे लोग देते हैं अपने को, ठीक है? नहीं दिया तो नहीं दिया. This attitude, if we take, nobody can actually, harofy you. Like means that inferiority complex is we are giving permission to others. अगर रूपा बोल रहा है मैम आप लेक्चरर ही हो, आप प्रोफेसर नहीं हो, okay. If I feel miserable, it's my fault. Rupa wanted to say something. She said, Rupa, don't take it seriously. I'm saying. So it's just, I don't see this. It's really something that we shouldn't worry about. I hope I answered.
Yeah, totally agree. And with that note, I'm just launching another poll, and I request Sridevi ma'am be ready with summarization. And we are going to unveil our toolkit because self-empowerment is actually a huge term. So we try to work on that and wanted to give you a practical tips. Because this chat show is not all about that we are dictating and keeping you mute and we are talking to each other. It's nothing like that. But we really want, after this term, after this session, you should understand the meaning of empowerment. And please, I request to everyone, please do try this on your work front, at your home, so that you can actually learn this virtue. And that is how we are going to change the future of nursing. We are here to transform the nursing, the system of the nursing, by transforming the nurses. So transformation always starts from inside out if you really want a sustainable change in the system. With that, I am just launching this poll, and after that, ma'am will be summarizing the whole session, and will be unveiling a simple set toolkit which you can use at your workplace, and you can, understand the deep meaning of self empowerment, and you can brush up your skills also. Wow, wow. Yes. And we are grateful to each and everyone for giving us such a beautiful comments on the chat box. And we request everyone, so please learn how to give non-verbal comments when there is a chat going on. This will actually boost the master and every participant confidence, and we love to talk more about on these topics, scenarios.
I can see one question about invasive clinical procedures. I'll just take that.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
is
You want
not
to take
about,
these?
yeah, it is not, just quickly to say, see, we should be clear what is nursing. I'm telling my students this also. Nursing is not about doing something that the doctors are doing. Now, yes, if you have a position where you are a specialist, like for example, like Geeta said, like if you're an ER nurse and we have standing protocol for senior nurses to do intubation, or an ACLS qualified person can do intubation, please do it. But doing an intubation and thinking that, oh, I did a doctor's job and this is what makes me happy, is absolutely wrong, because nursing is not medicine. Nursing is nursing, medicine is medicine, and CARE, A is nursing and U is medicine. And nursing can go beyond cure. Doctors are always looking for CURE, and cure has a limit. There is a limit where cure will stop. But CARE will never stop. Can you think of this? So let's not think of invasive procedures. If somebody wants you to do it, you have a training and you are having the legal right, do it. Otherwise, please don't go and attempt an ABG. Don't try to do an intubation. अपना nursing में कितना करने को पड़ा है, कितना. If nothing, अच्छे से बात करो पेशेंट से, उनको फाइंड आउट करो, उन लोग दवाई क्यों नहीं ले रहा है, दवाई ले रहा है क्या तकलीफ है, साइड इफेक्ट है क्या. So much to do. Yeah, we are almost time. We are already a little bit late, so let's try and
yeah. So, ma'am, with that, I am just over to you, and then re-emphasize on this point. Yeah, can you see that?
Yes, I can see it. So just quickly, self-empowerment is intrinsic. We have to take control of our life. दूसरे लोगों को never give others an opportunity to make us feel inferior. तो अगर हमको बुरा लग रहा है, हमेशा अपने से कहना कि हमारा ही fault है. In the sense, not to blame yourself. Next time, improve yourself. So identify अपना strength हमको मालूम पड़ना चाहिए, हमारा weakness हमको मालूम पड़ना चाहिए. Weakness मालूम पड़ेगा तो we can always try to work on it. It need not be courses. It could be reading up something, discussing with somebody, trying to clarify things. It could be anything. Very important to have a goal. And for you youngsters, I always say, because I was there at that age, we need, if you're 25, please write down somewhere in the next 10 years, what would you like to be? Very important. If you're 35 also, you need to write in the next 10 years, where would you like to see yourself? It is only when you are 50, you are allowed to be stable in one place. Let me tell you, it is not allowed for anybody below 50 to be stable and comfortable in a government job, paisa lo. You can be in government job, nothing wrong. But a government job mein bhi kitna hai karne ko. So it may be a small thing like we will not have routine temperature checking. We will do assessment and then do temperature checking. Or we will do assessment of every patient every morning. And then decide what care has to be given. So goal hona chahiye. Fir action bolega to, we need to have a plan of action. This is like nursing process. We need to work towards anything. Nothing comes free of cost. I mean, nothing comes without effort. So uske liye, agar competency is a big word. Yani attitude, values, and skills. Meaning injection dene ka is a skill. Look, injection देने के लिए we should have the right attitude, we should have communication skill, we should have pharmacology knowledge. तो competency बोलेगा तो उसमें बहुत सारे चीज आते हैं. I'm not going to talk about it. And impact assessment, यानी अगर हम लोग ने कुछ change किया है तो उसमें क्या छोटा सा भी change कर सका हमने? Were we able to change? अगर नहीं कर सका तो don't be disheartened. Start again. क्योंकि यही है, life is a process. We always, and I told Rupa yesterday, even now I am learning. I did a course just this year, January mein, on how to construct MCQs. I did a course on fundamentals of peer review. I am currently doing a course on literature search. I am constantly trying to learn so that somebody else will not tell me, Sridevi, you don't know this. That's not the exact point. That I will feel that yes, I'm on top of things. कल कुछ Moodle में कुछ Turnitin का assignment workshop था. I try to attend every workshop and I believe I will learn something there. So I never take it for granted. हाँ, उसमें जाके बैठना है नहीं. I will try at the end of that one hour to see what did I learn from there. If I didn't learn, I will tell that person I did not learn anything new. But I will make the effort to go and learn, encourage people, be positive, and think that the larger good in our heart should be important. I have always succeeded in life in this 35 years because मैंने कभी खुद के लिए नहीं सोचा. But because I did not keep thinking for myself, I had a halo around my head because others kept putting star on my head. And I'm telling you, this works. Stop thinking, इसमें मेरे लिए क्या है? If we stop thinking that, उसमें हम दूसरों के लिए क्या कर सकते हैं? You will see magic. Please, in few months, come and tell me, ma'am, what you said is correct. That's it.
Totally agree, ma'am, with your lovely, motivational speech. I should say it actually, give us goosebumps. Yeah, totally agree. Don't think that nursing is a noble profession and we are working for other. Let me tell you, if you read about the success mantra in any of the profession and any of the business, success mantra always says when you work for other, there is a exponentially increased chances to get your success than if you are just working for your own profit. So don't try to be own profit business oriented nurses. Just think about the society, and that's what we are here. The motive of this show is try to make you a better version of yourself. Try to make you, we are full of so many potential, but sometimes people are not there and right people are not there. When I was in a struggling phase of my life and I got a very good life mentor. So with this show, we really wanted to bring all these mentors in your life, and we really wanted to, we should learn from their story. Nobody was actually enjoying a beautiful past who reach on a particular position. So whatever you are struggling today is struggling to become successful. It's up to you whether you are going to make it a successful story which you are going to share with your juniors and other people in future, or you just keep crippling and crying for the complain. Again, this is a small inventory. This is a small self-empowerment checklist where we really wanted to teach you how you can do it by yourself. Like, first of all, you should self-aware. You spend some time with yourself. There's a beautiful person whom we are missing is ourselves. We should know our strength. We should know our weakness. And you should have a direct goal. For next 1 week, if you are really wanting to improve learning the self-empowerment, think about in next 1 week, what you are going to do in your clinical area. Just write it clearly, because clear aim need to be there for getting a success. Then you should have a strategy. You should have a plan of action. How you gonna do that? If you need any particular skill, if you need particular knowledge for that, go read the journal, talk to your seniors, talk to the competent person who can actually help you do that. And the last but not the least is the impact. Sometimes what we are doing is impacting. We are thinking that it is impacting ourselves. Let me tell you, if you are just doing a small scale in your clinical area, let me tell you, so many colleagues must be watching you and doing it. They will start replicating what you have done in this week. So with that note, I
and I wanted to tell one more quick thing. See, yeah. Rupa had this idea. Let me tell you how things will fall into place. Rupa had this idea of this show. She met me long time ago. Just imagine how fate brought her the right people for the show. She had only an idea, but it was very sincere. So I look at it even from that small current point of view, that I don't know Rupa, honestly. Even now, I don't know her much. I met her once in Delhi. Then we've been talking on the show. But her idea attracted the right kind of people. Whether we are successful in the show or not, she has a, a push, or she has got, what do you say, something to push her idea through. And the right people came across. Whether it is Dolma, whether it is Geeta, so this will happen. Just believe in yourself. That's the only thing you need to do.
Yeah, believe me. And with the right motive, you meet right people. And there is a no short of right people in this world. Just apply law of attraction. And if you really want to learn law of attraction, try to meet Dolma Didi sometime. She can teach you in a better way. With that note, I want to take this, close this session and telling you, female and male nurses, what they are, what is our family. Male person is always protective for the family. He is the one who take the decision. And why our male nurses are not doing that role for the nursing? Female is always caring. Her nature, it's a virtue to provide care, to provide nurture. So, together male and female nurses can actually bring a major transformation for this nursing profession. So you guys, the male nurses, are the integral part of the nursing transformation, integral part of the nursing platform. Without you, we will not feel protected. And you are the one who can act as घर में जैसे पिता भाई या husband घर को decide करता है, that gives the right direction. You are the pilot of the ship, though you are less in number, but you are very important, and together we can win this battle. With that note, I close the session here, and we'll be here next week, and please try to tune in with us. Thank you very much. And
thank you, Rupa, for the opportunity. Thanks a lot to everybody for listening. And if there's anything that I said which was not was hurtful to anybody, I apologize.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much. It was nothing like that.
Okay.